if you use one, your 2 blocks, your massage ball, and your yoga strap. So we will be using those items. And if you have a chair and you think you might need it, we have a deep forward fold that usually we use 2 blocks on either side of our front foot to give us a little bit of lift. If you're feeling tight and you think those 2 blocks on their highest setting won't be enough, then you might opt to have a chair nearby, and you can use the seat of the chair for something to hold on to or reach for support. I'm so glad to be practicing with you today. I'm so happy to be with you all. We are going to start with a nigun, really just the melody to this most beautiful song. I just love this song. Perhaps you've heard of Elana Arian. She has a song that's inspired by the loving kindness meditation and the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing. It's a beautiful song, beautiful words. And because we end each of our classes with the loving kindness meditation or loving kindness prayer, I thought it would be really nice to weave this in throughout our class time today. So today is really about peace, blessings for peace, and giving those blessings to ourselves and letting that peaceful, loving kindness overflow from us and out into the world to those we love, to those we may or may not know. So let yourself be seated comfortably. And take a couple of breaths. Exhaling anything that's with you right now that might be a distraction, just letting that go if you're able to. May God bless you with all good and keep you from all evil. May God enlighten your heart with immortal wisdom and grace you with eternal knowledge. May God lift up merciful countenance upon you for eternal peace. I invite you to bring a hand to your lower belly and a hand to your heart. And as you breathe in, attempt to fill the lower belly area first to allow that area to expand. And then let that expansion travel through the rib cage and into the chest. And when you're full, let the air out through pursed lips, nice and slow, until you're completely empty. And then begin again, inhaling through the nose, expanding the lower belly first. Rib cage all the way into the chest and upper back. Letting go once you're full. Practice this belly breathing a few more times. And keeping that idea of breathing from the lower belly first, we'll move into a mudra, a hand position or hand asana, hand yoga pose, right at the heart. So you'll take your thumb and your index finger, like the Jnana mudra that we do, yes, like a meditation mudra. And this is my favorite mudra. And if it doesn't feel delicious for you, then you can just lock your thumbs and just put like a little butterfly over your chest. But what I'll introduce for you is the two mudras with the thumb and index finger, and you'll bring the right hand over your heart with that mudra, just like that. So you've got this right over the heart. I call it the Chokhmat Halev mudra. It's just wisdom of the heart mudra. And then the other hand still has that mudra, and you'll just take it and nestle your fingers into the other fingers. So then the fingertips are kind of splayed across your chest and each other, and those two little thumb and index fingers are nestled into each other. And then you can just let your shoulders and elbows rest and relax and feel as if you are holding your own heart with wisdom, offering peace. And we'll send some loving kindness to our own hearts using the words of the song that we will end with today. May I be safe. May I be free. May I find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon. May I find my way back home. And then we can bring to mind someone we love, maybe a teacher or guide or relative, an animal, anyone that we feel close to, and send these wishes to them. May you be safe. May you be free. May you find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon. May you find your way back home. And let your hands gently come back to your lap. I am on a block. If you're on a block, you might want to remove it. If you have anything underneath you, we'll start with some seated warm-ups. So we can just have one shin in front of the other. Notice which one is in front. And we'll start to stir our upper body around in circles. And keeping in mind the breath we started with, where we access that lower belly first, and then let it travel all the way into the upper chest and back. And pause and reverse your stirring. Really gentle. So today's practice, every breath, we're breathing in peace, compassion, and come to upright, and then change your legs so the other shin is in front. And we'll do a little more stirring, big breaths. Changing direction. Good, rise up. Let's bring the right hand to the mat next to you and lift the left arm up. Reach, 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 pull the belly in and just lean and reach diagonally upwards. So you're stretching the whole side body. Big breath and change sides. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale as you reach and side bend. One more set. Inhale, reaching up with the other hand, another arm. Exhale, lean. Make sure you're rooting down through your sits bones. And last time, inhale, reach up and over. And come back to center. Let's do some shoulder circles, really big ones. Get them up as high as you can into your ears and then bring them back and down. You might notice some little crunchy sounds. And then reverse back, up, and forward. Really getting between those shoulder blades, stretching out the space behind the heart. Good. We'll warm up our arms, bring some heat to the shoulders by bringing the arms out. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and hold those shoulder blades together like you're trying to hold a pencil between your shoulder blades. Press through your palms so you get a nice forearm stretch. This is already some work, right? And then we're going to do some circles. So whatever direction you want to start, little circles, warming up all of those muscles in the arms and shoulders. And then reverse your circles. Feel the heat building, good. And then shake it out. We'll make our arms into a goalpost. And keeping your upper arms right where they are, you're going to just lower the forearms and palms down as far as they'll go, and then back up. And try to keep the upper arm in place, getting some rotation there. Keep breathing. And last one. Good, and relax. Shoulder circles. Tilt one ear to one shoulder and breathe. And then bring the other ear to the other shoulder and breathe. And then start to lower your chin towards your chest and pause there. You can take one hand and place it gently on the back of your head, like you're giving yourself a blessing. And just using the weight of your hand to help guide your neck into the stretch. Breathe into this lengthening of the neck. Good, and release. Good, just turn your head from side to side without moving the shoulders. Just a little rotation. Great. We're going to come to our backs now. You are going to need your block. Yes, I think so. Keep it nearby. We're going to come onto the backs and we're going to do some subtle hip mobility. So I know some of us kept moving over the last couple weeks, and some of us maybe didn't move as much as we would normally move without our, yoga classes. So this is great for creaky lower backs. So we're going to bring the hips, the feet close to the sits bones. I have a squirrel watching me do yoga. It's pretty funny. Hi. Okay. I got lots of critters that come into my little peace patio. Okay, so your fingertips are going to come to your frontal hip bones. And without lifting your bottom off the floor, you're just going to press your lower back into the floor. So your tailbone is going to lift a little bit naturally. And as you do this, you're going to feel your abdominals contract as if you're about to do a little ab crunch. And then release that and let your lower back arch so you create space between your lower back and the floor. And then exhale, come back into that pressing of the lower back into the floor. So your fingertips, you'll feel your frontal hip bones are moving forward and back. Think of like a rocking horse. And try to keep your knees from flopping around. So you want your knees to stay relatively stable, pointed straight up to the sky or the ceiling, and connect your breath to the movement. So a full exhale presses the lower back into the floor, and a full inhale creates that nice little arch and opening through the abdominal wall. Notice, does it feel sticky or does it feel smooth? And then pause in neutral. So when you're in neutral, you're not trying to go either direction, but you'll have a natural little curve in your lower spine probably. So now I want you to imagine that your sacrum, or the part that's right before your tailbone, that little triangular shaped bone, that is on a face of a clock. So as you arch your back, like we did a minute ago, your tailbone is going to point to 12. And as you tuck your tailbone and press your lower back into the floor, your sacrum is touching 6 o'clock. So just going 12 to 6, like we were before. Now I want you to stop at 12, so you're in that little arch, and then see if you can move your hips in such a way that your sacrum is starting to touch all the hours of the clock, going clockwise, going to 1 to 2 to 3. And your knees are going to want to join into the fun, but try to keep your knees as stable as possible. This is a really subtle, slow exercise. Do this a few times, pressing the outer edges of your sacrum into the different hours of the clock. And notice, do you skip a whole section of the clock, or is like certain areas harder to touch? And did your shoulders start to get all tight because you're focusing? So relax your shoulders, deepen your breath. You're going to pause at 12 o'clock. So you've got the little arch in your back, and then reverse. So you're going to go counterclockwise. So let's start to touch 11, 10, 9, going all the way around your clock. So we're massaging the edges of the sacrum, and we're really getting into these little muscles in the lumbo hip complex. So we are in control of these little movements. It helps bring health to the lower back. Let's do one more round around our clock, and then go ahead and relax. So this is I learned it in my Pilates trainings. So that is a really nice release for the back. We're going to go right from here. Keep your feet where they are. And if you want to use a block between your thighs just for some stability to keep your alignment good and aligned, you can use a block. We're going to now bring the palms next to us, next to our hips, and start to lift the hips off the floor, or ground. Press into your feet and just lift up into whatever height bridge you would like for now. You're going to squeeze your block and then lower down. And squeeze the block, press into your feet and lift your hips, coming to whatever height feels right for you today. Press into your feet so that you don't have so much tension in your gluteal muscles. And lower down. This time there's an option. As you lift, you can also lift your arms up and overhead. You don't have to. It's an option. So let's press into our feet. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead, really opening up the front body. And then exhale, lower everything down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lifting up. We'll do 1 more. Good. Rest here for just a moment. Okay, the next thing we will do is a Psoas release, which is our deepest hip flexor. You're going to take your block and scoop it under your hips. Your feet are just where they were for now. Find a place where you can let that sacrum be supported by the block. And then as you're ready, go ahead and straighten the right leg out. So your right heel is on your mat. Your left knee can stay bent. Flex your right foot and squeeze your quad. Squeeze the thigh of the right side. So the leg's really active here. So we're lengthening the psoas, kind of counteracting the sitting that we're doing a lot of possibly on Zoom and driving and all the things we do. If this feels good, then you can lift your right arm overhead and really create a huge side body stretch from fingers to toes. Pressing your right heel into the floor, it keeps squeezing the thigh. Bring your right hand back to the side of your body and very slowly bring the right leg back. And when you're ready, lengthen the left leg out. Left heel is on your mat, toes point straight up. So you really want to flex the foot and squeeze the left thigh. Breathe here for a moment. Notice if it feels any different than the other side. You can stay here, or if you'd like a little more stretch, you can lift the left arm up overhead. Let your exhale soften the muscles. We'll take 1 more breath. Let it go. And then bring the left hand down by your side and just slowly slide the left leg back. Be gentle about this. This is a pretty deep stretch. And pause in your supported bridge pose for a moment. And then when you're ready, press into your feet and tuck your tailbone just a tiny bit so you can slide the block out from under your hips. And then go ahead and hug your knees in toward your chest, either narrow knees or wide knees, whatever works for you today. And just do a little rocking from side to side. Good. Now we'll release our neck. So you can bring your feet back to the floor. What I'm going to do is walk my feet out to the edges of my mat and let my knees lean in toward each other, which will take some pressure off the back. Bring your hands by your sides and then lift. Start with your right arm. Lift your right arm all the way back behind you and turn your head to the left. So if your hand can reach the floor behind you, that's great. If not, it's totally fine. Breathing in and then exhaling everything back to center. Once that right hand is down, then you can lift the left arm while you turn your head to gaze over the right shoulder with your breath. So start one side after you completed the other side. So make sure that both arms aren't in the air at any point in time. One arm at a time. With your breath, do several of these on each side. You're looking away from your armpit. Let's do one more. Good. And then walk your feet back in toward each other. Lift your hips and shift them over to the right a few inches, and then let your knees drop to the left. So you're taking a gentle twist here. Open up those arms into a T. Gaze over that right arm. Breathe into the lower back. Sending a wish for freedom in the lower back, mobility. Pull your belly in and lift just the top knee, followed by the bottom knee. And then shift your hips over to the left a few inches, and then let your knees drop to the right. Gaze over your left arm and breathe into this twist. Good. Giving a nice gentle massage to the digestive organs here. Good. Let's engage that belly and lift the top knee, followed by bottom knee. Shift your hips so they're centered back on your mat. Hug your knees one more time. And then we'll roll to our sides. You can press yourself up and come to hands and knees. So if you are having any wrist sensitivity or issues, you can always do this from a seated position on a chair. You can modify some of these spinal mobility exercises. We're going to take a couple of cat-cows, rounding the back, tucking the tailbone, drop the crown of the head, and then inhale, coming into your cow, arching, breathing in on your own, exhaling, inhaling through the movements. And if at any point in time your spine would like to have some playtime, you can let it do whatever it wants, maybe some side bending or tail wagging. So we're going to warm up the hips. So at any point, if your wrists are tired or you need to come to forearms, that's totally doable. You can try that as well. So I'm going to come to my knuckles, and we're going to extend the right leg out behind us. So flex your right foot and bring that inner thigh of the right leg in toward your midline. So you want to activate the inner thigh, pull the belly in, and then round your back and bring your knee in toward your nose. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. I'm going to go to my forearms to show how that would look. Good. Extend. From this extension, we're going to flex the foot and then point the foot. And just do a little bit of ankle mobility. You can do some circles. Good. Now go ahead and bend the knee and just bring it out to the side. So a little fire hydrant, and do some circles here. Keep your belly engaged, both directions. And release. Go ahead and sit back on your heels and release your wrists. Give them a little shake, a stretch. You can press the top of your hands into your thighs. You can bring your fingertips to your mat with your palms facing away and gently press down. And then we'll come back into hands and knees, or forearms and knees, and extend the left leg out behind. Flex the foot and bring those inner thighs toward each other. Pull the belly in. Breathe here. And then bring the knee to the nose to the knee, rounding. Inhaling, extend. Exhaling, round. You're engaging your abdominals. Every time you round the back, it's like you're doing a little upside down ab curl here. One more. Extend the leg and flex the foot. And now run through some pointing and flexing and some circles of the ankle. Good. Bend the knee, bring it out to the side for your fire hydrant circles. If you lost the connection to your core, bring it back in. Change direction with your circles. They can be as slow as you want them to be. Let this be an exploration and an intervention. Good. And go ahead and bring that knee down. Take a child's pose. Let your hips melt toward your heels. Do some wrist circles if that would feel good for you. Come on back to hands and knees. We're going to thread the needle. So the left hand will stay on your mat. Maybe you'll move it a little more to the center of your mat. Lift your right arm up. So you come into a little bit of a twist here. Right arm up, stretch through the chest, and then scoop the right arm under the left. Bring the right side of your head to your mat. You can extend the left arm now overhead. And just lean a little bit to your right. So you're using your weight and the mat, the friction of the mat, to give you a little pull in the, like a stretch in the deltoid shoulder area. Good. Bring your left hand back underneath you. Come back to tabletop. That right hand might come to the center of the mat. Lift your left arm up, maybe gaze up toward it, and then scoop the left arm under the right. Head is on the side on the mat, and reach the right arm forward. Big deep breaths here. Tiny bit of a lean of your weight into that left side as you press down into the mat with your left arm. And then breathe into that. Good. Let's bring that right arm back under the body. We're going to move to standing. You're going to want your massage ball with you. Go ahead and bring it up with you. We're going to do a little bit of chest massage. So the ball is in the left hand, and we'll just work the right side of the chest for a moment. At the same time, we're going to row the right arm in big circles while we press down on the ball. And just finding any sore spots. Don't be afraid to pause at those spots and give a little extra attention. And then change over to the other side. So the ball will be in the right hand as you work the left side of the chest. Your knees are soft here, so keep connection to your mat and to the earth by softening those knees. Good. And my dog is about to bark, so just a little heads up. It's okay, Bubba. All right. And then relax those arms, do some shoulder circles. Great. And then go ahead and leave the ball on the floor in front of you for a moment, and then bring your hands behind your back. Clasp those hands. Now, if this is out of reach for whatever reason for you today, you can always hold onto your strap with your palms facing away. We're going to keep the knees soft and the feet about hip width apart, and just hold onto the hands or the strap and stretch the heart open and start to bend the knees, hinge at your hip crease, and bring those arms over the back of your body here as far as they'll go comfortably. And my knees are bent. You know, maybe your knees will be straight, but you're welcome to bend them as much as you would like to. This is more to focus on the opening of the chest. And we get a little back body stretch as well. Big breath, and then release your hands toward the floor. And then start to look up and slide your hands up your legs, come up with a flat back, belly's pulled in. Very nice. Okay, let's massage our feet a little bit. Get that ball under the right foot. So we're gonna go side to side. Think of just spreading out the base of support there. Make it a little wider, a little broader. And then after you go side to side, do whatever you want with your right foot, whatever feels good. Go right to the center of the foot so that your heel can be on the floor and your toes can kind of drape over the ball. And with your right knee bent, just gently press straight down, just a little bit. If you cringed or if you made a face, take a little bit of pressure off and breathe into that. 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, let's change sides. Starting with the side to side, from the ball of the foot, working your way down through the widest part of the foot. As low as you can go, moving from side to side. And then whatever your foot's heart's desire is, find your breath. Find the center of your foot just like the last side with a gentle pressure straight down. Relax your face, your shoulders. Let your exhale melt your foot. Good. We're going to place the ball off to the side now. And both of your blocks, we're going to bring them to the top of your mat, whatever that is for you. We're going to start with our right leg as our leading leg and take a Vera 1 or Vera 2 or Warrior 2 pose. So step your right foot forward and bend your knee. Back leg is turned in slightly, front heel to back arch alignment, and come into your Virabhadrasana 2 pose, Warrior 2. Make sure your stance is wide enough so that when you bend your front knee, it's not tracking past your toes. It's either over your ankle or like behind your ankle, but not over the ankle. And you're activating your right glute so that your knee is pressing towards your smaller toes. Gaze over your right arm and breathe. Draw those shoulder blades together, holding onto that pencil. Pull the navel in. We can come in and out of this by straightening the front knee and then bending the knee. Straighten and bend. We're going to bend and hold. So you have your 2 blocks at the top of your mat on either side of your front foot. We're going to windmill those arms down toward the blocks. You're going to find the blocks, turn your back toes so that you're now in a lunge. So you're on the toes of your back foot in a nice little low lunge here. Adjust your blocks as you need to. Make sure you're not reaching way out for them. They should be right under your shoulders. Your blocks are extensions of your arms. I'm wiggling my back foot back a little bit. Find what works for you. You might have to move your front foot out to the right a little so you feel more stable. And breathe into this low lunge. And now keep your back foot where it is, but straighten your front leg as much as you can until you feel a stretch. Using those blocks. This is where I mentioned the chair. So if these blocks are way too low for you, a higher chair or seat of a chair might be better support. We're going to straighten the front leg, gaze down towards your back foot, and then bend the front knee. So we're coming into our low lunge and then into our, it's a pyramid pose variation. Do this a few times. Go really slow, be really gentle with your body. Next time you come into your low lunge, I'm going to invite you to drop your back knee, and you can keep your toes tucked or flatten your foot. It's totally up to you. And come up, hands on your thigh. Think of pushing your front thigh out of your hip. Think of extending it out of the hip while you squeeze your left glute. And you're going to get an active stretch in that psoas. And if you'd like to lift the arms up, now inhale, reach, gaze up to the heavens, up to the sky. Good, bring your hands back down toward your blocks, and then tuck your toes if they aren't, and come back into your low lunge. Now you're going to take your blocks with you. You can do this however you want. I'm going to just walk my blocks around. Walk them around so that they're on the other side of my mat. You can come up, of course, to reestablish your warrior 2. So the front heel lines up with the back arch. Good. And those arms reach out. This time, palms up. So feel what happens when you externally rotate the upper arms. The heart can open a little bit more. Activating the back leg just as much as that front leg. And then coming in and out of that front knee bend with your breath. We're going to pause in our warrior 2, breathe here. Gaze down at your 2 front blocks. You're going to windmill those arms to your blocks. Come onto the toes of the back foot, and then establish your low lunge so you feel balanced. Front knee is bent. Again, you don't want the knee to be shooting out past the toes. You want to have it over the ankle or slightly behind. Fire up your back leg. So press through the heel of your back foot and feel your hamstring lifting toward the sky. Belly is engaged. You're going to keep your back foot just as it is and just practice starting to straighten the front leg as you gaze down between your legs toward your back foot. Just until you feel a stretch. That's going to be different for everybody. Coming back into your bend, into your lunge, and then your pyramid pose. Do this on your own several times. See how slowly you can do this. Pausing in your low lunge, Drop your back knee if you're choosing to do that, and rise up into your lunge. You can hold on to that front thigh and press the thigh, pushing it forward, squeezing the right glute, and then lift the arms up. May I find space to just be. Good. Bring your hands back to your blocks. You can come back into your low lunge with your belly engaged. You want to keep your lower back safe. You can start to walk your blocks around. And now you'll face the long way on your mat and shift your toes so they're all facing forward. We're coming right into a wide angle forward fold. Nice wide legs. Blocks or no blocks, your choice. You're going to fold down into whatever variation of this pose works for you. Let your head go. Breathe into the neck and the upper back. Start to press into your hands so that you can start to come up. Heel toe your feet toward each other until you can get your hands on your hips and rise up nice and slow. And then step your feet together. Let's take a tree pose. So left foot is your standing leg and foot. Bring that right foot somewhere inside your leg, not on your knee joint. That works for you. Find your tree. Maybe your branches are really open today. Maybe you have your branches close to the heart. Gaze at something that's not moving. Breathe here. Even if you aren't feeling stable, even if you're wavering, I invite you to bring this loving kindness blessing to yourself. May I be safe. May I be free. May I find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon. May I find my way back home. Come out of the tree pose on this side. And as you're ready, just shifting over to the other side. Make sure that the standing foot is really growing roots down into your mat. Feel connected on all parts of your foot. The standing leg is strong. Find the expression of your branches. Maybe it's the same or different on this side. Returning to your breath. And slowly returning to your mountain pose on both feet. Taking a breath here. We're going to open the legs wide, coming into a little bit of a squat of your choice, whatever depth you want. The toes will point slightly out to the sides. Come into your squat. We'll do a hara breath to stir up some energy. Inhale the arms up and exhale right to those ribs. Really fill up and let it go. At your own pace. Two more. Last one. Good. Palms are up. Holding the palms up as if you're holding an offering. An offering to the world. from your heart to the world's heart. What is your prayer for the world? So to bring your legs together, we're going to come to our seats. We'll take Paschimottanasana. So this is a seated forward fold, which can be very tight for a lot of people. So I recommend that you sit on the edge of your blanket. You can sit on your block if you want to. That's a lot more height, but whatever works for you. So you'll sit on the edge of just on the very edge of whatever support you're using under your hips, so your sits bones, and then you can use your strap to wrap around your legs if you'd like, around your bottom of your feet actually. And with the feet flexed, start to hinge at that hip crease, coming forward till you feel a stretch. Notice where you feel it. You are welcome to tuck your chin, let your head go. There might be some rounding in the upper back. That's okay. This is a back body stretch. It's also okay if your knees need to be a little bit bent in this shape. Pull your belly in and start to use your hands to press you back up to an upright position for staff pose. You can press your fingertips into the mat next to you and draw your shoulders back and down. Open up heart and chest, gaze up. Good. And then we're going to come onto our backs. You can bring your blanket with you if you'd like. We're going to do a hip stretch before we start to close or cool down our body with Shavasana. So you can bring your right ankle over your left knee or thigh and just taking your figure 4 stretch. Feet are flexed. And take a few breaths into whatever sensations that you're noticing. And then take the second side. Relax your jaw, your face, your shoulders. And then go ahead and bring both feet to the floor and take a moment to listen to your body. What finishing poses do you need? Do you need an inversion with your legs up? Do you need another stretch of some other sort? Do you need a twist? So take the last couple of minutes to just give your body what it needs. It doesn't have to have a name. It's your body, your practice. And when you hear the sound of the bell, that is your invitation to come to stillness and Shavasana. And if you're ready, letting your body come to the most important asana, Shavasana, releasing all effort, returning to stillness. Letting the muscles go. Let the bones settle into gravity. And with every exhale, releasing anything that doesn't need to be holding on right now. May I be safe. May I be free. May I find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May I find my way back home. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May I find my way back home. May you be safe. May you be free. May you find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May you find your way back home. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May you find your way back home. May God bless you with all good and keep you from all evil. May God enlighten your heart with immortal wisdom and grace you with eternal knowledge. May God lift up merciful countenance upon you for eternal peace. May we be safe. May we be free. May we find space to just be. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May we find our way back home. Y'hi Ratzon, Y'hi Ratzon. May we find our way back home. May we find our way back home. Feel the weight of your body being held by gravity. Feel the edges of your body meeting the air. Feel yourself held in this sacred space. Let your breath deepen and your body begin to move. And take your time rising up to a seated position with your hands at your heart, or perhaps in the mudra that we began with. And we close this practice today with our usual blessing. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free. May all beings be loved. May all beings have peace. Y'hi Ratzon. May it be so. Shalom.